About a year ago, I made a video about the errors in GTA 6's Trailer 1. And honestly, there were quite a few pretty noticeable errors, like this guy who looks like he's T-posing. I mean, he's hidden away. You had to brighten up the scene to even see him, but I'm sure that was just like an unfinished NPC that Rockstar just threw into the scene. Also, you had stuff like the road texture not actually being the same road texture. It's almost like a lower resolution version of the road that you can clearly see in that little plane scene. And then other things like the NPCs seemingly looking like they're floating on the water. It looks like they're too deep into the water, yet you can pretty much see their whole body. Like only their feet are under the water. And I'll leave a link to that video at the top right if you want to check it out. It's kind of interesting to see the errors, some of the errors Rockstar made in Trailer 1. Well, we are now a year later. Trailer 2 just released a couple weeks ago, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but what I'm going to show you guys today is just unacceptable. We're going to start with the worst offender of them all. This scene right here. Jason shooting out of his car. This is actually, I think, on like the Ocean Boulevard Street, because that is one of the hotels that you can see in the distance. But pay attention. I'll even zoom in to the gun. I'm going to go frame by frame, and I'm going to show you guys the biggest error in Trailer 2. So let's begin. We're going frame by frame. He's obviously shooting the gun multiple times. Wait, what is that? Why is his hand illuminating? I'm going to go one more frame before the bullet is out. We'll continue it because he fires off another shot. And yet again, boom, we get light before anything is out of the barrel. In the next frame, it comes out. This, I have to say, is unacceptable from Rockstar. I'm canceling my pre-order right now. I will not let this stand. Light, one frame before the gun shoots. This is what $2 billion worth of development looks like, guys. Now, of course, I feel like I have to say this because there are just some dense mother effers out there. That was sarcasm. What I just showed you, the gun lighting up or the light showing up before the actual bullet is out of the gun, that is such a minor thing, and yet that is the biggest mistake, in my opinion, in this trailer. And I'll show some other mistakes here in a moment, but yeah, like Rockstar cleaned up their game, man, and that's to be expected. They went, since Trailer 1, 500 something days straight of development. What I do fear, though, is us pointing this out. It's like the scene in Interstellar. This little maneuver, this little bug is going to cost us 51 more years. This game is going to get delayed another year just because of this. But seriously, like this sort of stuff, you would literally never notice this when you're just playing it normally. I'm sure this is also a somewhat easy thing to fix for Rockstar if they actually cared. But again, why would they? Like, who is going frame by frame in your gameplay and you're like, oh wow, the light shows up before the gun shoots? Like, no one does that. This does somewhat remind me, if anyone remembers, in GTA 5 for the longest, I think for like years on end, in the prologue, Trevor would actually be shooting his gun. I think it was Trevor, without a clip in the gun, like a magazine in the gun, whatever you want to call it. It just wasn't there for some reason. And it just reminds me of this scene, because maybe this is a cutscene with Jason shooting and you can see that little minor error. But yeah, that's the first thing. It is so minor. But honestly, now that we're in Trailer 2, we're really only seeing these minor errors. The next one is this little clip with Jason riding in his car with, you know, people reacting to him riding down the street. I said a couple of videos ago that this is actually gameplay, and it's just like this scene, this camera angle is just from the Rockstar editor. Like, it's just a cinematic camera angle of gameplay. And if we zoom in and play, I'll just sort of play the clip over and over again. You can actually see that the steering wheel does not move in sync with Jason's hands. It's very, very minor, but it sort of moves before slightly he moves his hands. So I guess technically, yeah, that's an error. That's a mistake. But it's something, again, you will never notice unless you're zoomed in when you're in first person looking at the steering wheel and your hand on the car. But honestly, that clip just makes me more excited for the gameplay part, because if you do watch the actual clip with Jason smiling and reacting to the NPCs, like that's gameplay. So that's what Jason and I guess Lucia will just do while you're driving around. They'll react to the world, which is very cool in my opinion. Here's another one, and I'm not even sure if this one is necessarily an error, but I noticed it when I was taking a look at some of these smaller features that, you know, we might have missed out on. But this truck that has the trailer behind it, I'll go ahead and play it. And right as we're starting to pan the camera up, it looks like the truck is actually shaking for no reason. You know, I guess maybe the argument is the NPC was trying to get over, realized there's a car next to him, and then, you know, that's why the car is shaking. But I did want to throw that in here and mention it just because, look, we've seen our share of bad traffic, bad NPCs driving in GTA Online over the years. So maybe this is like, you know, a bit of that. But if it is the case of an NPC trying to change lanes and then they realize someone's next to them, even that level of detail is kind of crazy. Like that Rockstar would code a mistake like that into the game. And then that's why you see this car moving around like it is. Now, here's actually a pretty funny one. It's not from the trailer, it's from the screenshots. And it took me a minute, maybe just because I'm an idiot. But look at Jason here. Look at the sunglasses on his chest there. Now, if you're a smart person, you probably can see the issue right off the bat. Took me a minute, but that reflection in the sunglasses should not be vertical like that. Yes, it should be vertical if they were on his face, but if they were just like this on his shirt, the reflection would be the same. You would have a same horizontal reflection like anything else. And yet here we have a vertical reflection of the landscape on the sunglasses. So that's a little weird. It does maybe mean that like the whole ray tracing thing, because ray tracing usually is real time. So I'm not entirely sure what would cause something like this, but it's pretty funny how it's also pretty noticeable now when you see this screenshot. And here we have a few things pointed out by Reddit user Rail-On. He noticed that the bike brake lever isn't being used, even though in this clip, I think the guy is hitting his brakes. So I guess things aren't, you know, that realistic, right? If you're really nitpicking here. We also have this 2D version of a little jack on the boat bottom. So not everything, look, they had to cut corners somewhere, right? Not everything is going to be perfect. So you might end up seeing some 2D textures in places like this. And then apparently under the bridge here, in one of the Ambrosia screenshots, it looks like the lighting from above is actually ignoring the bridge texture. Unless maybe there's lights under the bridge, but I feel like that's usually not the case. But yeah, you can see the lights under the bridge sort of just going through it, which is, yeah, it's just weird. But maybe there's a reason for that. And actually for the final error, this one, we're going to revisit the gun. Although this time we're going to listen to the sound of the gun that Jason's shooting. Because apparently the pistol sound in trailer 2 is the exact same sound used for the semi-automatic pistol in RDR 2. So let's take a listen to both. Now, more than likely, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, that's just a placeholder from RDR2. But hey, also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I thought that was just another pretty funny thing, how, you know, they're reusing some sounds from RDR2. Is that even an error? Maybe not, but regardless, I figured I'd throw it in here. But really, at the moment at least, those are all the errors people have found in trailer 2 and I guess the screenshots. There's not a whole lot compared to trailer 1, which is good to see because of course that means development is going pretty smoothly and they're going to be ironing out all of the bugs and stuff in this game. Presumably that is one of the big reasons why they did delay it. But I do want to continue this video because there are a few other things that I noticed in trailer 2 that are a bit strange compared to other GTA games and the first trailer that we got 2 years ago. And actually the first thing is these cutscenes with, presumably this is the bad guy of the game. Like this is the antagonist of the game. Obviously they are part of the police force, but I'm almost positive in no other GTA game, or even I guess Red Dead Redemption game, no other Rockstar game, do you ever see cutscenes just of the bad guys. Like the main characters are always near the bad guys when they have cutscenes, like they're always in them. So if this is a cutscene and we're seeing the bad guy here, the question then becomes, well, why? Or are Rockstar changing things up? Are we going to be getting cutscenes from the bad guy's perspective? Or, as some people have rumored, is Jason a part of this? Is there a rat somewhere, and that's why we're seeing the cutscene? Because, you know, off the camera, you see Jason or maybe even Lucia in the room. I did just want to bring that up because I thought that was kind of interesting. Because again, normally Rockstar don't show cutscenes from like the antagonist's perspective. Yet we see him quite a few times here in this trailer. We also saw some other characters in trailer 2 that might actually be these characters from trailer 1. Now, look, they look like physically, they look nothing alike. So these could just be two random people, and maybe the accessories and the tattoos are the same. But obviously you have one guy wearing the white tank top with the same chains on. And then the other guy apparently has the same tattoo on that left shoulder. So there's, I guess, a couple of possibilities. Like I said, number one, maybe it's just two random, you know, these are just separate NPCs and they are all just wearing the same jewelry. I guess that's a possibility. It could also be that Rockstar significantly changed their looks from trailer 1 to trailer 2. And there's actually some more evidence that does support this, which I'll show you guys in a moment here. But I think maybe that's the most likely scenario. Or I guess the third option could be that it's not just our characters like Jason and Lucia that can change their looks and that can maybe, you know, get buff and all that sort of stuff. Maybe other NPCs can do that as well. Now, these, again, don't look anything like each other, but I guess that could be another possibility. But I think it's that second one, just because we also saw these two characters, they finally got named, but I think these are the exact same characters we saw in trailer 1 that were dancing also on a car. I mean, unless there's just multiple NPCs dancing on cars, which I guess could also be the case. And again, these characters, like the actual facial models and stuff, they look nothing like each other, but they are both in similar scenes here that it makes me believe that these two characters are the same two characters we saw in trailer 1. And if that's the case, then we see Rockstar have changed their appearance quite a bit. So it's not necessarily an error, right? But it's an error if we're assuming they're the same characters from trailer 1, because that means Rockstar, they completely changed the characters up a bit. And then the final thing I wanted to bring up was actually the lack of the social media stuff from trailer 1. Now, this is complete speculation and I could be completely wrong. And, you know, maybe trailer 2 didn't show any of these social media clips because they're not focusing on that. They're focusing more on the characters. And that is what Rockstar normally does. Trailer 1 is like a world building trailer, and that's why we saw all of the social media stuff and just more of the world. Trailer 2 is usually reserved for more character stuff, and that's why we're seeing more of Jason and Lucia. So that could be 100% the case. But my only concern is that because we didn't see any of these social media scenes in trailer 2, I do wonder if maybe they're gonna not be as big a part of the game as we thought, or maybe as Rockstar thought. Obviously the game's been delayed. I wonder if one of the big reasons for the delay is because they realized this social media system was a bit too big of an idea for them to finish in this game. Because think about it. If any NPC can take out their phone and upload videos to social media, like that's kind of crazy, right? If you can, as Lucia or Jason, go onto the website and see NPCs live streaming what they're doing, that's kind of crazy. Like that's insane. And that's probably a ton of work. So I do wonder, again, complete speculation. I am hopefully am wrong on this because I would love to see that in the game. But I do sort of wonder if we didn't see any of that in trailer 2 because they're trying to tone that sort of stuff down. You know, maybe down the line they'll bring it back, but maybe at launch we might not get this sort of stuff. That could just be some doomer talk though. Hopefully it is, but I figured I'd mention it as well. But that is going to do it for today's GTA 6 video. Those are some of the errors in trailer 2 and in the screenshots. There's not a whole lot. I mean, if I missed any and you found some, I guess let us know in the comments. But thank you guys for watching. That is going to do it for today's GTA 6 video. Please drop it a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA 6 content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.